Alright guys, I'm doing this while I'm eating, because I'm lazy. I'm really lazy. So, hold on. Yeah, the microphone can hear me. Okay. So, SCP... So this is a proposal for SCP-001. Why I'm calling it a proposal for this is because there's multiple SCP-001s. And basically, what this is, from what I see, from what I've read, what the proposals are, is that there's multiple proposals for SCP-001 in order to hide which one is the real SCP-001, where all of them are made specifically to mislead people trying to figure out which one is the real SCP-001. But there's also another explanation that I've read where all of them are real, but they're designated SCP-001 because they have a terrifyingly high threat level, like really high, like they destroy a lot of stuff. So this one is called R. Bellick's proposal. The link is called Swelling of the Worlds. It kind of makes sense because basically the summarization of what this is another. Okay, so this article, before I say anything, is written in the perspective of the dimension PD. So there's a dimension called PD. I don't think it stands for anything. It's just PD. So PD is a branch of a dimension called R42. And basically what happened is R42, which is another dimension, the SCP Foundation in R42 is found an anomaly in parallel universes, in the multiverse, basically, where there's supposed to be a maximum of 52 multiverses, specifically 52. But humans are extremely cognitive, and they're able to make choices. So that creates a problem where a long while ago humans have exceeded the maximum amount of multiverses. So if it continues like this, then everything above all the multiverses created after it surpassed 52 will just be destroyed, I think, or all multiverses will be destroyed, or something. So I don't know, something bad will happen, basically, and you know, the dimension R42 is trying to prevent that by doing a lot of sketchy shit. Like I'll read it in a second. Where they just kind of like kill everyone. They just kind of kill everyone and then leave like 1,000 humans to like in stasis so that they don't create any new multiverses. And yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start reading. Hold on. Notice from the Records and Information Security Administration. The following document was received on the 8th of the 10th, 2026 from the relict dimension R42. Hold on. From the relict dimension R42, and describes an anomaly threatening all members of humankind in all extant worlds. So basically, the reason I'm reading this is because You know, someone wants me to read this because their brain is so undeveloped that they don't understand words like extant. So, in all extant worlds, that means all other worlds. Do you know, like, it doesn't that... It's self-explanatory. Okay, whatever. It has been established that, before the message was received, a signal had been emitted for 8 minutes containing an exceptionally powerful cognitohazard of danger class 0. The Foundation was unable to counteract this anomaly, but no residual symptoms of it affecting the minds of Earth denizens. Denizens is Earth people, Earth humans. Earth denizens have been found to this day. According to the latest measurements, Dimension R42 no longer exists, and there's crossed out text saying there is a high threat of repeated cognitohazards or other forms of attack from Dimension R42. And they crossed that out because Dimension R42 doesn't exist anymore, at least. Fun fact for you guys. The following message tested negative for hidden memetic agents and is safe to read. A memetic agent is something is like is I think it's like specific. I think it's like specifically in the SCP universe where you can look at something on a screen and it kills you. Like there's SCPs that do that and stuff. Anyway, document start. Greetings. You are reading this dossier in a paradimension of the relic dimension R42. So the dimension that this okay, whatever. So what I'm reading right now is sent from the dimension R42. You need to understand that. Okay, I'm just pointing that out. Due to the colossal size of your world's address, for your convenience, your dimension will hereafter be referred to as PD. The following message has been constructed by the SCP Foundation of the relic dimension R42 and is addressed to the SCP Foundation of the paradimension PD. Enclosed, you will find information about SCP-001, which is a threat to the multiverse. As you may have noticed, this message was preceded by a burst signal containing a non-dangerous cognitohazard. Cognitohazard is a brain hazard, by the way. Just a fun fact for you, because I'm going to keep pointing this out, because there's a lot of stupid people that don't understand these words, and I need to explain it to them, because they're stupid. They're really stupid, and you know who you are. Okay? I'm shitting on your fucking cognito brain. Alright. The burst signal was constructed in such a way that minimal change to the signal would have caused indiscriminate and overwhelming casualties among the denizens of PD. As you can see, R42 is capable of eliminating the absolute majority of PD denizens, but has not exercised this capability. Basically, R42 is flexing the fact that they can literally destroy all of PD's dimensions just by sending something through a signal. And they're basically laughing at the PD dimension. I think they're pointing a gun at them, being like, you need to do this, bitch, or I'm gonna do you, or something. I don't fucking know what they're doing. In the context of the above, we ask you to consider this action as not an act of aggression, but as a demonstration of the fact that R42 has no pretension for conquest or other forms of aggression towards PD. Take the following information in earnest. So they're kind of really heavily threatening PD, but they're saying, well, we don't want to kill you, we just want to do something else. I don't fucking know. Anyway, there's an image of the depiction of like a schematic depiction of R42's and PD's locations in the multiverse. Basically, there's a big bang, and then there's like lines drawn to dots. The lines drawn to dots, all the dots are dimensions, and the only one, I think there's only one with humans where humans existed. That's the one with a shit ton of circles in it, because humans make a lot of choices in life. Okay, so basically, I'm going to start reading the actual article now. Item SCP-001. Object Class Paradox Apollyon. Special Containment Procedures. The only way... Hold on. The only way to guarantee destruction of the anomaly and avoidance of the ZK class cross-reality failure event is the full annihilation or fundamental change of humankind. The list of possible measures to push back or completely avert the incoming 001 ZK event has been outlined below. So basically, what that said is the only way this anomaly can be contained is that you either entirely change how humans function or you kill all humans. Now, you know, that's a little weird. Problem description. SCP-001 consists of all living members of the Homo sapiens species without exception. They're basically scientifically saying all humans without exception are SCP-001. So SCP-001 is SCP-001 is all humans. I don't know how to fucking say that because okay, whatever. These currently include humans living in the relic dimension R42 and the PD paradimension. The anomaly first came into existence and developed in the relic dimension R42 and then later activated in PD by accident. Unchecked growth of SCP-001 will cause annihilation of the entire multiverse. See? So it'll annihilate the whole multiverse if it grows too much. Basically, wait, no. The article will explain it. It is known to our researchers that at the moment of the Big Bang, the formation of a finite number of parallel dimensions, 57 in total, happened in an event referred to as alpha. Creation of new dimensions in natural conditions without disruption is impossible. Due to unknown causes, humanity came to exist in only one of the 57 relic dimensions, in dimension R42. Oh, so, okay, I misunderstood this. So, 57 relic dimensions exist, and in one of the dimensions, humans exist, which is R42. And a PD is an extension of R42. So PD stems from a parallel universe in R42. The danger to reality that SCP-001 poses lies in its anomalous capability for wide-scale replication of paradimensions. This term refers to a parallel reality which has extremely small deviations from its parent. It is known that many conceived human decision, even those completely inconsequential, occurring with the time, complements the multiverse with the n paradimensions, where n is the number of choices in the decision, wherein a unique resolution to the event occurs in each. As such, dimensions housing living instances of SCP-001 uncontrollably grow a colossal number of minimally differing paradimensions every second. So, if you didn't understand that, humans make choices literally all the fucking time. And that means that there's multiple outcomes to all of those choices. And what that also means is that there's a parallel universe for each outcome to each choice a human makes. And that means that there's paradimensions being created constantly every second. I just need to basically what that means. Other relics. Hold on. I keep hearing fucking keys, and I'm not sure if I'm going insane. Okay. Other relic dimensions, R01 to R57, not including R42, do not have paradimensions, as humanity has not come to exist in those dimensions due to unknown causes, and as such, all processes therein follow natural physical laws only. R42's SCP Foundation is not aware of whether other relic dimensions contain other forms of sapient life, but even if it does, there is no sign of further paradimension replication in those dimensions. R42's analytics have determined a ceiling on the colossal amount of paradimensions, surpassing which will destroy the multiverse as a whole. This value is referred to as omega. There is no visual way to represent this number. An estimation of omega is enclosed in the addenda and can only be deduced through a cascade of highly challenging mathematical calculations. In roughest estimation, accounting for the current speed of approach, the number of parallel dimensions to omega. Wait, I read that wrong. In roughest estimation, accounting for the current speed of approach of the number of parallel dimensions to omega, predictions for growth of PD's populace, and the worst case scenario, full refusal of your paradimensions to counteract the anomaly. The death of the multiverse, also known as the ZK cross-reality failure event, can be expected to occur within 0.3 years and 2 months after the reception of this message. I think the message they're referring to is the message I read at the beginning from the dimension R42, where they're pointing a gun at PD, saying, "Stop creating parallel dimensions." Basically, if you didn't understand that, omega is the roof, or the maximum amount of numbers the maximum amount of numbers how do I fucking omega is the max amount of paradimensions that can exist, and reaching that number is, well, it kills the whole multiverse. The paradimensions created through replication exist in a state of existence uncertainty, or stasis. Hold on. So basically what that means is... Shut the fuck up, Windows. So basically what that means is paradimensions created through replication exist in... I'm reading it again. So paradimensions, parallel universes that basically clone and just are very, very slightly different. They exist in stasis where the outcome is unknown of the universe. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. So this affects the stability of the multiverse, and yeah, while indirectly affecting the stability of the multiverse and objectively forming due to the effects of SCP-001, each paradimension does not exhibit signs of its existence due to the lack of any physical processes within it. This state is broken after opening a space-time tunnel into the dimension. At that moment, the existence uncertainty ends and the paradimension begins to exist in the full meaning of this term. Basically, paradimensions created hold on. So there are paradimensions and paradimension clones, where paradimensions are kind of like original, and the clones are very similar to the paradimensions. And the clones technically don't exist until you open like a portal into that paradimension. Like you can physically cross into it, I think. Like a space-time tunnel into the dimension, like the text said. So if you literally look into the dimension, then it exists because you're looking at it. Right? You know how that works. So you look at the dimension and it exists. It begins to exist, and then the humans in that dimension start making choices because, you know, they're not in us, and they're not like frozen, kind of. I feel like I'm explaining this really badly. I'm eating Subway, by the way, for people. All physical processes begin to flow as if they always have been. Hold on a second. All physical processes begin to flow as if they always have been from the Big Bang to the moment of the dimension's formation. Basically, what that means is, after the paradimension clone is created, and you look at it, it just starts functioning as if it's been there the whole time. Yeah. Due to the fact that new beings, or humans, come into existence with the abolition of existence uncertainty, this dimension becomes a source of paradimension replication in itself. Yeah, so I think I explained that already, where the dimension starts to exist and then humans start to make choices, and then those choices become paradimension clones. Paradimension clones? Is that what it is? Paradimension clones. I understand this, but I find it very hard to put into words. Hold on. Okay. You and your paradimension PD were created. Holy shit! Okay, so I think this whole article is created in the perspective of R42, because they just said you and your paradimension PD were created approximately 17.4 R42 years ago. So the reason they say R42 years ago is because PD has been frozen for a while, and they're kind of, and PD is like in the past, and R42 is like probably, so like let's say PD is in the year 2020, R42 is like in the year 2040 or something. That's what they're saying, I think. And afterwards remained in a state of existence uncertainty for an extended period of time. From R42's point of view, the emergence from this state and beginning of you and your dimension's factual existence happened approximately 0.7 PD years ago, after an exploratory portal from R42 was briefly opened into your world. As such, the society of R42 technology and historically, surpasses PD by approximately 16.7 years, which has allowed R42's SCP Foundation to discover SCP-001 and develop computing solutions of colossal scale, which in turn considerably advanced the research of this anomaly. Basically, PD is like 17 years behind, because they've been frozen and they haven't really existed until recently. I think that's what they're saying. History of R42 Society's efforts against the anomaly. SCP-001 was discovered by Foundation researchers approximately 5.1 R42 years ago. The omega value was calculated soon after, and the fact of the number of extant parallel dimensions catastrophically quick approach to that limit was found. Hold on. And the fact of the number of extant parallel dimensions, catastrophically quick approach to that limit was found. A special research group from the relic dimension R42 began developing methods of complete or partial suppression of paradimension replication to prevent or postpone any possible measure of time, the occurrence of a ZK class cross-reality failure event. And I don't think I've explained what a ZK class cross-reality failure event is yet. It's basically just the entire multiverse ceasing to function, just breaking. Unfortunately, R42's SCP Foundation had to go to extreme measures to delay the ZK class event as much as possible. Operations Castling and Minimal Gain were developed for that purpose. The O5 Council assembled Roster-1, which included all persons who have vital scientific or other importance to SCP-001 research, and Roster-2, which included all persons who were needed to perform field work during the interim period of Operation Minimum Gain. To enhance morale, one family member of choice per person was included in each list. Basically, what they're saying here is they've assembled two groups of people, which will be the only surviving people on Earth after the Operation Minimum Gain was executed, and one family member with them too. Descriptions of measures undertaken under Operations Castling and Minimal Gain. As a result of actions undertaken, the cross-reality failure event has been delayed by a considerable margin, and the speed of approach has been slowed to a minimum. Basically, parallel dimensions are being created slower. They're basically saying they killed humans, okay? They're basically saying they killed humans. So they killed humans and they slowed down the approach to the end of the multiverse. And I love this SCP, because it's a very cool idea. You know, humans are bad, but like not in like the way you expect. Like they just make choices and for some reason that's a bad thing. Right? It's like really weird. That's why I like it. The most prospective parts of development at that moment were the creation of will and reasoning, variability dampening devices, as well as projects around delegating the consciousness of all survivors to a central processing unit. Under most modest estimations, accounting for highly limited human resources, the realization of this project would take 9 to 15 years out of those available to the Foundation before the onset ZK class event. Basically, they don't have much time, and they come and they do it in 9 to 15 years. And they've created devices that decrease humans' abilities to make choices, like reasoning and variability. Yeah, so they kind of just lower human brain functions. I think that's what they're doing. Open full list of proposals for development. Unfortunately, at the time, very little was known about paradimensions themselves, and the existence uncertainty theory had not been developed as of yet. Various researchers proposed the theory that lack of paradimension replication from paradimensions, a process visually akin to an uncontrolled fission reaction. Fission, basically, we don't know what fission is. It's the opposite of fusion. So two things fuse together and create a thing. But imagine something splitting a terrifying amount, just uncontrollably splitting into multiple balls. It's like someone cutting up your testicles, just a shit ton, just a lot, and now you have multiple small pieces of your testicles. That's what they're explaining. Various researchers proposed the theory that lack of paradimension replication from paradimensions, I already explained that thing, could signify that humans existing in them were not SCP-001, and that, as such, they could be excellent test material for R42. The O5 Council made a decision to begin development on technology to open a cross-dimension space-time tunnel into a random paradimension based on remaining anomalous materials at the Foundation's disposal for the purpose of studying it. The paradimension turned out to be your paradimension, PD. So I didn't realize that this article is written in the perspective of R42. I thought it was the other way around. I forgot from last time of reading it. Basically, I think this paragraph is saying that they didn't really know, like, how, like, they didn't really know how other universes apart from their own existed. So they kind of assumed that well, technically they're true. Like, in those universes, humans couldn't make choices because they were frozen in because they're frozen. They don't technically exist, so they can't make choices. But yeah. So they're kind of right, but then they're also wrong because they opened a portal to see their dimension, and as soon as they saw the dimension, it started duplicating. Because humans make choices. Paradimension duplicate. I'm going to say that a lot, by the way. The portal developed by R42 specialists provided to be highly unstable. The Foundation personnel could not choose a paradimension to enter. PD became the target by chance. Additionally, after having existed for an insubstantial period of time, approximately 2 days, the space-time tunnel spontaneously closed for no reason. So they don't really have good control over, dimension hopping. Hold on a second. I'm eating. Give me a second. Alright. Hold on a second. Oh, wait, what? Wait. Holy shit, I've been taking lots of drugs recently, guys. Underage drug usage? That's illegal, right? I think that's illegal. Anyway. I'm not actually taking drugs, guys, okay? I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that because, there's a lot of people on the internet that just kind of assume that anything said is true. So I don't want anyone calling 999 on me and be like, this guy's taking drugs! No! I'm not. It's a one-off joke. Anyway, at that same time, it was discovered that your world became a source of paradimensions in itself. And that's because they looked at it. When considered, along with the fact that PD existed in precisely the state R42 was in at the moment of PD's creation, a hypothesis about existence uncertainty was established. R42's SCP Foundation chose to make no further attempts to open a portal into PD due to the high risk of accidentally afflicting other dimensions with the anomaly. From the moment PD began to produce its paradimensions and bring the multiverse closer to the ZK-class event with high speed, R42 was left no time or hope for salvation. Unfortunately, R42's foundation cannot open a portal into your dimension and destroy PD denizens by itself. R42 has waved aside the idea of eliminating the majority of PD denizens because the PD's Foundation personnel surviving in underground bunkers and bearing access to numerous Thymal-class objects would render such actions moot. So basically they're saying they can't destroy the entirety of the PD dimension, but they can kill a lot of humans, but that wouldn't do much because there's a lot of SCPs that exist specifically to restore humanity. So it's kind of pointless to kill the majority of the human race if the human race could be restored within like a couple days. The SCP Foundation has a lot of shit just to recreate humanity, or like revert time and stuff. So yeah. Hold on. Little remaining time before the ZK class event, and lack of technological capability to maintain our research denies the possibility to repeat operations costing a minimal gain. Due to the outlined causes, we address you with this message and offer the only way in current conditions to save the multiverse. The world has existed before us and must remain after us. Our multiverse is ill, and the name of the illness is humanity, SCP-001. The only way out is SCP-0000. So, I'm way too lazy to explain SCP-0000. It's like, okay, I'll try and explain it. Okay, maybe there's an explanation here. God, we'll cease to become a threat with its help. It is in our power to leave a chance for other sapient species that perhaps will not be afflicted by the same anomaly, or will find ways to get rid of it before it's too late. We, the O5 Council, and other survivors from R42 have chosen our fate. We hope you will do the same. From the O5 Council of Dimension R42 to the O5 Council of Dimension PD. Enclosed, you will find a methodology to calculate Omega and the means to investigate paradimensions. Main scientific derivations regarding SCP-001 and the instructions to create and use SCP-000. Hurry! The final addendum contains a private message for each of you encoded with personal overseer encryption keys. Hold on. Let me finish this sandwich. Yummy. 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 Anyway, SCP-0000 is the item SCP-0000. Oh wait, let me say what this is. So this is a small explanation of SCP 4 zeros. There's 4 zeros. I'm just gonna say 3 zeros. SCP-000. Basically, it's the thing that destroys universes. I think destroys not universes, dimensions. I think, I don't know if I can know. Object class paradox thaumiel. Special containment procedures. Any containment procedures contradict the concept and purpose of the object. So there's no point in containing it, because the purpose of it is to do something else. SCP-000 consists of a device developed by the SCP Foundation of Relic Dimension R42, capable of annihilating the dimension it is activated in. After the destruction of the target dimension, all child paradimensions in the state of existence uncertainty will undergo slow self-destruction. Object blueprints and principle of operation. The core of SCP-000 is a 4-component device consisting of redacted, as well as Euclid-class objects SCP-redacted, SCP-redacted, and 2 conjoined SCP-redacted. The object's principle of operation, data expunged. You can't read that, sorry. Okay, and the below is a note written to their dad, I guess. So the person that wrote the note is one of the O5 Council from Dimension R42, I think. And basically, they're just talking to their dad. They're talking to their dad from the dimension PD. Hold on. They're talking to their dad from the dimension PD, and because dad lives in the past, so the O5 person, she's like explaining what he does in the future. Kind of sucks what he does, I think. Or maybe he's like a good. I forgot what it says. Hello, Dad. I don't know if I have the right to call you Dad. You are just a copy of the one I recently mourned the passing of. Oh yeah, he died. In some way, you are the cause of his death, but you are also a human who, like us, is not at fault for any of this. In your world, I'm just a little girl. The one who's writing now is your grown-up daughter, one of the leading Foundation employees. Strange, isn't it? I didn't want to record a message, but my colleagues made me. They say it's important. Well, I couldn't have a last word with them, so I'll have a last word with you. I'll address you and not you in quotation marks, as if I had known you for so many years. All right? So basically, she wants to talk to him like her actual father, and not her copy, and not her paradimension father. You get it? Okay, you get it. I remember the day the rosters started to get implemented. Rosters of those hold on. Okay, I don't have any internet still. I'm waiting on that. I need to download something. In your world, I'm just a little. Wait, what the fuck am I reading? Okay, I already read that. I remember the day the rosters started to get implemented. Rosters of those for whose sake everyone else had to keep working. There was an idea to let the overseers save not one member of family, but two. You yourself stood against it, believing that it would lead to an unhealthy schism within the Foundation that was about to become very, very small. Only a few hundred, that many were supposed to be left after the mad harvest you planned. Those and 15,000 people in cryosleep. You were implacable. Implacable. That's a word, right? What the fuck? I've never seen that word before. I've read this before, but I've never seen that. You are implacable. And the day you began to assemble the roster, I understood everything by the look in your eyes. You didn't save Mother, you chose to save me. I still don't know what to think about that, but even if I had some sort of anger at yourself, it's long gone now. I began to work alongside you. All the hostages, as they were called behind backs, began to work on the project. We had more than enough time. Hope was our guiding star. On the days I felt especially miserable, you led me out to the surface. We sat on the grass in hazard suits and watched over the empty city at the bottom of the mountain. The city that only birds of hunt inhabit now. You promised that we'd return there and build a giant monument to the human at its center. I listened to you and knew it was a lie. Every single one of our prospective projects would have left nothing human in us. Our descendants would not waste themselves on sentiments. Then someone proposed to open that portal. Fatal mistake. When you've learned that the paradimension started replicating worlds, you understood that it was all over. There were flimsy ideas to open the portal again and throw some sort of wonder bomb in there, but nobody had any guarantee that it would open into a different nobody had any guarantee that it would not open into a different paradimension. The countdown went down to months again. Your promise became impossible. You took your own life. In your honor, the seat of O5 was left vacant. Truth be told, I don't care. Now, whether you'll destroy your world or not, whether the universe will exist, whether there will be new life in it, my world has been crushed long ago. It's good that this message was encrypted with your key that was passed on to me, or else these lines would have been deleted. Everyone wants to save the world, but who needs it like this, empty and cold? Without those to appreciate its beauty, without humanity. Do whatever you think is right. I truly feel better now. Love you. Faithfully yours, Joan Simpson. Verification key, Overseer 05-1. So the O5 Council is the Overseers, I think. That's basically what it is. And here's the footnotes. Hold on. Okay, the footnotes come from something. So, hold on. The footnote comes from something. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look for the footnote. Okay, is it gonna do that every time? Alright. I'm gonna try and read the footnotes, even though it's kind of pointless, but whatever. Okay, so a paradox Apollyon. This anomaly's distinguishing feature is that in order to eliminate the anomaly that will inevitably eliminate mankind, it is imperative to eliminate mankind or realize another K-class event. Yeah, so it's kind of like a paradox Apollyon, where if you want to destroy the SCP, the SCP is humanity, technically. And here's 2. Okay. Footnote 2. There's a lot of 2's in. Okay. Paradox Thalmiel. This object is designed for conclusive, guaranteed, irrevocable destruction of SCP-001, in brackets humanity, and prevention of threat caused by it via realization of a localized ZK class event. Yeah, that's basically the footnotes. That's really it. There's also licensing, citation. Who the fuck's gonna read that? Okay, so this whole document, apparently, I think, this whole document, except for the very beginning, like the part that says notice from the Records and Information Security Administration, the whole document, where it says document start to document end, is written by the dimension R42, and they basically destroy themselves. Yeah, Dimension R42 they don't kill humans, they just destroy the reality, so they don't die, they just cease to exist. Yeah, so now PD is the only reality with humans in them. Kind of sad, but so true. Anyway, I'm done reading it, and I'm gonna upload this to YouTube once I get internet. Bye, and I'm not gonna edit this. Or maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I won't read this. I won't edit this. I'll just put the link to the wiki page in the description. Enjoy.